Good afternoon and welcome to today's special edition of NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold for this, the 8th day of May in the year of our Lord 2021. Today's special update comes from several places: Breitbart, Western Journal, and Epoch Times. The latest numbers on illegal alien deportations for April is the lowest ever recorded. Yet alien border crossings exceeded a 20-year high. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, sent 2,962, a 20% decline since March, of non-resident aliens back home from whence they came. Most foreign folks to whom ICE said adios were classified under the new Biden border guideline as posing a threat to national security. Those committing fraud, assault, money laundering, and driving while drunk isn't of any concern in 2021. ICE admitted in a statement to a prestigious swamp news outlet that, quote, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has concentrated its limited law enforcement resources on threats to national security, border security, and public safety, unquote. The key phrase is limited law enforcement resources. One of the only reasons for having a federal government is to implement national security measures. But the Biden administration is slashing the border budget and reallocating funds for infrastructure projects instead, which is irritating friends and enemies in the southwestern states. So much so that a bipartisan coalition has been created between the outspoken Senators Kyrsten Sinema, Democrat of Arizona, and colleague Senator John Cornyn, Republican of Texas. The two collaborated and introduced the Bipartisan Border Solution Act. The end purpose of this act was for Biden to declare an emergency at the southern border and allow the National Guard to assist the battered ICE and Border Patrol officials. As the feisty Sinema said, quote, the reality is that this is a crisis. We all know it, and the federal government must do more to address this surge of migrants who are coming to the border with increasing numbers each year, unquote. Now, it depends on what the definition of crisis is. Everyone has a different one, especially the leftists. It appears that to defend our current status of frenemies, new and old, that the Biden administration has consulted the presidential playbook of 1998. The year the slippery one, W.J. Clinton, caught in the middle of a tawdry sex scandal, explained that folks did not understand the use of the word is. It created a somewhat linguistic existential crisis. And no good crisis is left alone, as the White House press maven Jen Psaki channeled Clinton's words, saying the border, quote, wasn't really a crisis. It was a huge challenge, unquote. And one news outlet, POLITICO, according to the letter obtained by Washington Examiner, is re-educating reporters on language that is acceptable when writing about the challenge down south. As Deputy Production Director Maya PARTHASARATHY wrote to staffers, quote, avoid referring to the present situation as a crisis, although we may quote others using that language while providing context. While the sharp increase in arrival of unaccompanied minors is a problem for border officials, a political challenge for the Biden administration, and a dire situation for many migrants who make the journey, it does not fit the dictionary definition of a crisis, unquote. Parthasarthy continues imploring her people to avoid emotive words like onslaught, tidal wave, flood, inundation, surge, invasion, army march, sneak, and stealth, because such language could portray migrants as a negative, harmful influence. Really, you think? Sinema, who grew up in southern Arizona, and others would heartily disagree. If it quacks like a crisis, well, you know the adage, which is now setting a dangerous precedent. Joe Biden made it clear that he could turn the clock back on his predecessor's accomplishment in whatever way he could muster. But when it comes to national security, is the crisis at the border a hill upon which he wants to plant his flag? He effectively threw the gate open wide for the masses and retracted policies that kept the border nearly controlled. Former ICE acting director Ronald Vitiello plainly explained to the Washington, D.C. news outlet how things are shaking out under Mr. Biden. Quote, "That's part of a signal being sent that immigration enforcement isn't a priority for this team. The odds of being arrested just for being in the country illegally were always extremely low, and now they basically ruled it out by policy." Unquote. It's a mess. It's a challenge. And yes, it's a crisis, as Siema continues to goad Mr. Biden. Quote, "What I'm waiting for is the administration to take bold action." Unquote. And now for the removing of that liberal blindfold. I mean, aren't we all? I have been saying this since this whole thing with Biden started in January, that he wasn't cut out to be president. Even though he, the media, the judges, and the Democrat Party worked hard to get him there with the cheat, he has not shown anyone he is capable of the job, not like Trump did, and Kamala Harris hasn't either. I think they are both in way over their heads. One of the things that shows what is going on from the left is a quote from Nelson Mandela when he said, quote, "No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love." Unquote. From 1 John 2, verse 11, "But the one who hates his brother is in the darkness and walks in the darkness and does not know where he is going because the darkness has blinded his eyes." In that one Bible verse, my friends, we can see the complete troubles of the world today. The left pushes the fear and the darkness with things like Michelle Obama saying, "I fear for my daughters every time they get in a car." Or Biden with his agenda of uncertainty, which has murdered job growth and keeps telling us that the nation is heading in the right direction. We all know this isn't true, but no one with a big microphone and many people listening will say this because they are afraid of being taken out by the liberal leftists in the media. And of course, again, Michelle O. telling us all that Black Lives Matter is taking to the streets because they have to. Folks, no they don't. They are only taken to the streets because big mouths like Michelle are telling them that it is okay to murder and cause mayhem to get people to understand that whites are the ones oppressing, not them, when it is actually the other way around. And the good news of God is never told. As long as all this is happening and the good news of Jesus is left out, this world will continue with the turmoil that is happening. And my friends, mark my words here, it will continue to get worse. Like I said on my show yesterday, and Todd Herman of the Todd Herman Show in Washington has said, the people have to rise up and put a stop to this. Unite and fight this systemic racism that we are being accused of, but to put it in the right place, it is the left who is doing it, right on the doorsteps of those pushing it for real. Michelle Obama, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, and Black Lives Matter terror group, among others with Antifa and those. We must unite, or this nation will become a thing of the past, period. Because the left and the racists in this nation are lying and telling us patriots and Christians that we are the ones who are racists. It is them, not us. Time to fight back. Thank you again for listening to us here at NWCR, where we strive hard to find the truth hidden by the lamestream lying media, and as I always will say, we will not be ruled. We are heard through Conservative Nation Media, or CNM, from behind the silver microphone of freedom with that voice of reason in this increasingly unreasonable world, where America always wins. Please subscribe to my Rumble account under the name of NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold, and also to my BitChute account with the same name. They are there to get the truth out that the left wants left totally out of our lives. YouTube will be tried again today, but like I said before, I'm not promising anything. They are on the verge of banning me completely and deleting my account forever. So, and as long as I keep telling the truth, that's bound to happen. I've been accepting that badge of honor from the left now because I will not lie like they want me to, like they do. That is not the way to save America and Americans from the tyranny that is coming. Later today at 5 p.m. Eastern is Vincent Brown with Black by Color Only. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern will be our own Uncle Bing Fisher with American by Design. Join us for a full weekend of great radio on CNM, and God bless you all, and I'll see you on Monday.